Hello, everyone. Welcome back. When last we left off, our plucky adventurers were in the midst of investigating what exactly it means for fiber optic to be coming to their area. And a large octopodal creature had just burst through the mirror of the entropic bar which Silas frequents. I think we are going to start off our session by going to Jerry, who you're just walking along the road, heading in the direction of the power station, when for the first time since you've been in this town, you notice that is actually a neon sign. And it's something that maybe you've always passed it, but just never recognized it. And what a beautiful neon sign. What an absolutely astonishingly beautiful neon sign. You could spend eternity staring at that sign and gaining comfort and gaining a feeling of happiness. And as you have this thought, the neon sign explodes and a giant glass-like octopus wrestling Silas smashes into the road in front of you. What do you do?
Oh, no! Silas! I'll go running up and before I run up, I will maybe just quickly have a quick check of my phone to see if I've had any response from Agamemnon, and then immediately turn it off, just power it down before it goes back in my pocket, and then run over to Silas.
Nearly out of battery. It might not switch back on again.
I'll take that chance.
Okay, what are you trying to do?
I am going to just then rummage around whatever else is in my pockets and in my little, sort of barely a satchel thing that's kind of slung around the back, just for the odds and ends to carry. Have a quick look if there's anything else I can just sort of jimmy together to create something vaguely dangerous to bat that thing away. I presume this looks bigger than the little one that I saw before. Right?
This is yes, and it also looks very, very similar, almost like it is just a bigger version. And this one, I suppose, slightly differently. You can kind of see it looks like there's sort of a white pulsing energy going on under its semi-translucent skin. So maybe it looks a little bit more like expanded with power, but
yeah, all right. In that case, I think this calls for a bit of an emergency. I will pull out the circular saw that's in my satchel.
You throw out the Werther's original, the classic lip balm, and then circular saw. All right.
Empty wrappers, just a bit of all of that. There's a lipstick that hasn't been used in years and it's been wound all the way down to the bottom, and it's all that
constantly
kind of
marking the inside of your bag. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then circular saw.
Yeah. And just try and initially scare that thing away, but I'll go for it if needs must.
Sure. Okay. So it is currently wrestling Silas. So as you approach with this circular saw and sort of give it a couple of, it's one of its tentacles kind of turns towards you.
I think in that moment I suddenly realized that this weapon I have just pulled out has power, and that may or may not be a wise thing to have done. Circumstances, but I'll keep it running anyway.
Who's to say? As you zzz it, the tentacle goes for you. The remaining tentacles are still on Silas. Silas, what do you do?
Probably not overly happy with this, but not over happy very much in my life. So, I think what I would do is try to.
It's trying to if it helps, it's trying to like reach its one of its tentacles into your mouth.
Yeah, I think I would, try to avoid doing that. I've got. It's not really gear, but I'm marked by corruption in such a way that I can wield it as a weapon.
Oh,
I have a tainted presence,
okay.
which I might, I don't. I mean, how would I wield it against it? I guess maybe it doesn't want to touch me. Maybe I can concentrate on how unpleasant I have become and focus that into a thought of revulsion in putting its tentacles anywhere near me.
Actually, so you activate your tainted presence, and I think
if you want to call it a superpower, then sure.
Okay, you become you just show what you really are to this creature, and I think because you're a forgotten vessel, so it views you like an empty battery, that is perhaps even more than it, hungry for power.
I do need to feed on entropic creatures myself, so.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe your actual just nature is slightly anathemic to it, and like as it sort of reaches its tentacles towards you, and it like starts to try and like drains like your essence from you, it feels like a corresponding pull back from you, where you are trying to absorb some of it. What does it have any damage, this thing?
Yeah, it's if you want the stats, it's a 1 essence hand area weapon.
Okay, you're definitely close enough to do it, and it affects a whole area. That's interesting. So Jerry's also in this area. So you sort of have gone towards this thing, brandishing your saw, and then it just feels like your willpower is like as you're sort of looking at Silas, your willpower is kind of draining. You kind of feel like what's the point? What even is like? What's the reason in doing anything apart from just sort of sitting down? And this sort of feeling is just like pressing on your consciousness. So I'm gonna it has dealt one essence damage. Can you mark an essence damage also, unless you have some way of resisting?
You being
Jerry.
I mean, nothing other than one of the character traits being stubbornness.
Okay. I mean, like, so how do you respond to the feeling of like, nah, there's no point. What's the point even in fighting back? Do you respond stubbornly? Because potentially that could help you resist this.
Yeah, I think I'd set my eyes on stopping this thing from trying to saw this thing and get him off of Silas, and that's the course of action that I've decided to take. And
okay.
I'd like to see it through.
And you're going to see it through, even if it is pointless.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So actually, don't. I think that counts as. I think that's fine. I think you resist Silas's, and perhaps knowing Silas also maybe helps a little with resisting this. Negative.
I also can't let him come to any further harm.
That's so you approach the creature that is closely grappling him with a saw. Just clarifying.
Yes.
You don't want any more harm to come to him. Cool. Okay. So yeah, very good. I feel like this is a roll of. I think you're directly engaging this threat. So roll plus pluck.
That's 6 on the dice plus 2 from pluck, so 8 total.
Okay, so you succeed. You and your enemy inflict harm on each other as established. So I think the tentacle that was going for you, you actually managed to catch it with the saw, and just as it's coming towards you, it kind of goes zzz, and it splits in half as it was coming. But you did not notice the tentacle from that was snaking along the floor and has wrapped its way around your leg and it just pulls your leg out from under you, and you fall to the floor. Seeing, by the way, in reaction to Silas's like effect, it has let go of you, and it is like now sort of focused far more on Jerry, who you have seen just sort of be tripped to the floor. What do you do, Silas?
Well, I think Silas, not happy with this creature. Maybe we'll start trying to pummel this creature, with using my channeling that tainted essence into my hands,
Okay.
and just try and
Bash it.
Batter it so it tries to leave Jerry alone. Jerry's helped me out in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you I think you try and hit it, and most of your hits seem to just sort of glance off of it. They don't seem to connect properly, but you manage to hit an area of its head that now that you look at it, looks kind of like a lens, like maybe it's eye or something, and you hit it, and it utters like a horrifying screech, and the eye, I'm just going to deal its damage, and the eye glows suddenly bright white like the sun, and you see and you hear like a horrible dial-up sound, and it is trying to blast you away, but it was clearly horribly affected by that punch. Jerry, you take 1 harm, by the way, for the fall after the thing, so you mark a harm. Silas, this weird blast of light makes you want to make sure that the broadband is kept up. The customers must be satisfied. Are you going to do anything to try and resist this compulsion that's entering your head via maybe this gaze?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care about anything, and I certainly don't want to care about customers. Broadband.
But they're getting such a good deal. Okay. How about?
Can I try and I try and resist it. I'd try and be like, this isn't me. I don't care. I don't care about customer satisfaction.
You're trying to dismiss it. I feel like this might actually be our first embrace chaos roll, because you are contending with a source of entropic power. So roll plus chaos.
Good. I have a +2 for chaos, I think.
Yeah,
very sure.
I believe you're pretty good at chaos.
And I rolled an 8 on the dice to make a total of 10.
Wow. On a 10 plus, you choose 2 from the list below. So you gain a clear understanding of the power's source, effects, and motives, if any. You quell the power's effect or fan its flames. You briefly wield this power's effect. You subvert this power to achieve your ends, and you take +1 forward. You inflict or heal 1 harm on a nearby target, or you mark or erase 1 essence.
I would like to heal 1 harm on a nearby target, being Jerry. So Jerry. I would like to. I guess what that would be to, like that. That as I kind of I'm contending with it mentally, and there's all kinds of entropic forces flitting about. Some of that kind of goes through Jerry, maybe, and reinvigorates her a bit.
Yeah, maybe you force it to give it give up some of its power through the tentacle that is attached to her ankle, and it passes.
And I think I would, because I need to. Silas refreshes their essence by tapping new sources of entropic power. That greed flits through my mind, but I think, you know what, actually, I need to understand what's going on here, and so I would like the first option, which is to gain a clear understanding of the power's motives, if possible, and power's source, effects,
and motives. Okay,
especially
so
motives.
the power source is this octopodal creature.
Mhm.
Although you do get the sense that there is a like it's almost like one of the hive minds, you know. So there is a deeper source than just this entity. Its
Connected.
effects are to turn you into one of the engineers. The effects are definitely to try and make you one of its servants that can feed it. That is its intent, and its motives are to feed and grow and spread. I'm trying to think if there are any more elaborate motives than that you'd be like familiar with. I think its motives are to take out the primary sources of power, both because they are the fattest, juiciest morsels, but also because they are the most dangerous to it. So that is possibly why it has attacked this bar in particular, filled with entropic creatures.
Fair.
Speaking of entropic creatures, above, like you get a really familiar feeling, and above your head, floating in the sky, upside down, slowly rotating, is a skeleton that is painted black and yellow, and you know it as the sign of the Shuratera, the bone signal, which appears in the sky whenever there is anything vandalistic or criminal that must be addressed. And you know what that means.
Yeah.
So
I think I would wonder if we could take a moment while this creature is stunned from this effect for me and Jerry to kind of get out of here, if that's a good idea.
Yeah, sure.
You can get clear of it before. I know this is going to be a real mess, and also there's going to be pals and bangs and whizzes flying, and I don't want to be near any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't. So in order to get free, I think, so it's still got a grip on Jerry's ankle. Jerry, are you going to try and do anything about that, or?
Just kicking and trying to wrestle myself out of it, and generally flailing and trying to shake it loose.
And are you going to use the buzzsaw or not?
I imagine falling has probably meant that it's like fallen out of my hands. It's probably whirring away and spinning about somewhere nearby, very unsafely.
Just.
I now understand how you lost so many fingers.
Yeah, just not keeping a grip of your things. Okay, so you try and I guess this is not fighting for your life. I think this is saving your skin. So can you roll plus wits?
Seven.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, you can choose to escape or not, but there will be a price to pay if you do. So the price that you will pay, in order to escape, you need to injure your leg. You need to you can not cut off your leg or anything, just dislocate it in some way. You are an old lady, so wrestling out of this is going to be painful, and it has a quite tight grip. Do you want to escape?
Yeah, that's fine. I will, dislocate that ankle, or otherwise fracture it or whatever it is. Just
Jerry has seen, has lived through and fought past tougher foes before, and so she just sort of grits her teeth and is just like pull, and then just limps away, I guess.
Already thinking in her head, is there some kind of boot that I can make that will slow me down. Just the thoughts are kind of whirring around in her head. Some sort of, interesting splint that can also fashion as a sort of like, blade for like, being faster. So she's piecing things together already.
Yeah. And like gritting your teeth and ignoring the pain. I think that might actually count as like playing against old lady type. You're not sitting down and ignoring. You're just going like, I'm just going to power through. So you can.
Old ladies ignoring their clear, horrible physical injuries, just so they can go. I'll make you a cup of tea. It doesn't matter if I've got a fracture in one of my vertebrae. I'll go and do it. Classic old lady. Yeah,
classic old lady going to pick up her power tools, getting ready to become more than human. Cool. So you can kind of like hobble away, and Silas, if you're trying to also get free,
I am.
That the beast has not yet noticed the Shiraterra or the sign of the Shiraterra. But yeah, you can hear there's definitely some like cartoony comic book noises. And there's somebody going, I'm here to save the day.
I thought I don't know. I'm more terrified by that, or the fact that I've just seen Jerry like basically dislocate her own ankle to get away from this thing, which was revolting. And
by the way, I think you take a harm for that.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I take at least one harm, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I will try and just dash off, probably the same direction as Jerry. Make sure that they get out of this okay too.
Yeah. Okay. And out of the corner of your eyes, you maybe see like a figure that is possibly a bat, possibly a man. Very hard to say. It's almost like a bad artist's impression of either of those things. And it like you just see like it swing its like hand like in a karate chopping kind of fashion. And like above it in the air is like the word chop in like bright red. And as it does that, like the part of the octopus kind of explodes outwards, and it like screeches in horrible agony, and it scrambles like it's clearly trying to escape. And that's the last you see of that scene. And on that, I think we will shift over to the hairdressers, O'Hare's, which is owned by the famous Cheryl, where I believe Tiffany is waiting in the spot where he knew he would always be when Aggie arrives, or Agamemnon arrives, from that exact same vantage point. Agamemnon, what does your face look like? Are you bedraggled? Are you calm?
A little bit sweaty, actually.
From the e-bike.
Yeah, I forgot to turn it on.
Well, you could have sworn that you did, but like maybe something's drained the power. Or something.
Yeah, well, yes, exactly. There's no power. I was about to say it's run out of battery.
So
it was weird. So I've been cycling, and they're very heavy. These e-bikes, they're not really designed to just you pedal it all on your lem. They're not very good for that. So essentially, I looked essentially a bit red in the face, a bit sweaty, a bit out of breath, bit gross in general. It's not to say that they look very good in the first place, but you know. So arriving a bit sort of that. There we go.
And yes. You both see each other, as well as someone who I think you vaguely recognize as maybe a friend of Silas, who has very long hair, about to enter the hairdresser.
Tiffy, how goes it?
Howdy. It's well here.
Yes, here. Yeah, I've found some information out. I was going to message you, but you know how things is, and you always seem to turn up at the right place at the right time. So I may as well just tell you rather than ring you. It seems a bit pointless to ring you whilst we're here in front of each other. Although if you need the recording, I can always do that as well. However,
I'll grab that later. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. We'll do the recording later.
He's
Maybe-
always recording.
always recording. I've got my little microphone right here on my Nokia. It's very useful, these phone thingies. Anyway, so we're after fiber optics.
Yes.
So what I've been told, very interestingly, is he's fibrous. And get this, optical.
Whoa.
I mean, it really does sort of give you a bit of a brain fart, doesn't it? Something that is fibrous, therefore tangible, but also optical at the same time.
That's pretty heavy, Aggie.
I know. I was a bit sort of I was a bit sort of shocked when I heard that. But anyway, I've been told that Cheryl here is the person to know something about it.
Because of the fiber.
Yeah,
Ah.
you could be onto something there. Yeah, Cheryl might know something about the fibrous nature of fiber optic.
Whoa.
I suppose we could only go in and ask and find out what she knows.
So,
I think I should...
Oh.
No.
I was going to say, do you go into the shop? Rosie has just gone in, just ahead of you.
Oh yes. We must follow. That's Rosie, isn't it?
I don't think we've met yet.
Oh yes.
I mean, I think Aggie's probably encountered Silas in the company of Rosie. After all, she is his only friend. So if you've ever encountered Silas with someone and that person is not backing away, probably it was Rosie.
Oh yeah, her.
Yeah. Well, maybe she will know something about this. At any rate, let's go in and find out what there is to find out. Let me just see if I've got any good sort of bribery items or anything to, smooth thing over. Just shuffling through my bag a little bit.
I guess actually this is an important time to ask. What is your hair situation like?
Oh, my hair. Well, it is on company time, so I probably shouldn't get anything done, but it's a pretty awful mess.
Okay, it's an awful mess. And
yes, I don't tend to do much. Sleeping under a desk doesn't do good things to your hair.
Yeah, you're just like barely shaven, kind of. You've been staring at the papers too much.
Yeah,
Tiff,
yeah.
What about you, Tiffany?
I think my hair has not grown since I slipped out of time. So I still have
Okay.
exactly the same awkward 13-year-old schoolboy, like slightly too long for the cut.
Mhm.
And there was a point around like 16 or 17 where it was weirdly fashionable. And now as I've headed into my 20s, I just look like a man with an embarrassing child's haircut.
Oh, ideal. Okay, so as you go into the hairdresser, which it now occurs to you that I don't think you've actually been inside here before. The first thing that strikes you is that there are a lot of sort of mannequin-sized and shaped bodies made out of hair, and they are wearing all sorts of high fashion. They are some of them are wearing just like a very elegant slip of a dress that is kind of flowing and really beautiful, just stunning. And then there's another one with just like beautiful embroidery on it, another one with a rather fashionable top hat, and you haven't seen like hair dressed like this before, and you think it's really impressive. I'm just seeing John dying inside. Yeah, so it is fantastic, and there in the middle of her beautiful creations is Cheryl, the hairdresser.
Cheryl, just the lovely, beautiful lady I've come to see. Yes, I have some very important business with you today.
Oh, you've come to make an offering. Well, I mean, the summer collection is nearly done, but I can always do with a couple of donations for maybe the autumn or winter collection.
Ah, an offering, you say? Yes. You see, making, of course.
Although I am a bit busy with this customer right now. And Rosie is not very happy. She's like, but I want to keep my hair. I want to keep it.
What, Rosie, you don't seem to be in the best of situations right now. Why are you having a haircut that you don't really want?
Look, and before she can finish her sentence, Cheryl is like, look, doll, I have got to, I've got a business to run here. You either accept my favor and pay the cost, or,
Well, look, Rosie here seems to be in a situation she doesn't want to be in. And I would quite like some information from you. You want someone's hair. I luckily have no real need for mine. So you may take all of my bodily hair, if you so wish.
A full body of hair, you say?
A full body, and I'm quite the hairy man. I've not shaved for months.
Let me see the merchandise.
I'm like, whoop, pull up my shirt.
My God, it's like a bear. It's like I've never seen.
I told you, it's a carpet. Yes, I do. It's good for storing pens and staplers and all sorts.
I've never seen hair with properties such as this.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
You don't go up Bear Mountain very often, do you?
Bear Mountain?
I ain't been up Bear Mountain in a while. You sometimes see the bad news bears up Bear Mountain.
Yeah. Well, they came down the mountain earlier today.
They came down the mountain?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why did they come down the mountain?
Well, obviously to bear bad news.
They came to bear bad news.
Yeah, bear bad. Well, that's what the bears do, don't they?
It is what they do. It is what they do.
The bears of the bad mountain.
You appear to be having
no, just the bad bears of Bear Mountain. There's other bears in Bear Mountain, but they don't bear any real bad news. They're just bears.
There's regular bears.
They sometimes bear bear news and tell me about bears, but there's only the bad news bears that bear bad news.
The bad news bears that bear bad news. What bad news did they bear to you?
They bet me why we're here, Aggie.
Yes, of course.
Agamemnon is not the only one with fiber, Cheryl. And we need a real big favor.
Okay. I might be able to do something for all of this furred creature's hair.
Creature.
I mean, you look at yourself in the mirror, man.
I don't think they let them have mirrors.
Look, I'm an admirer. I'm not a... Oh, yeah. You're from the bureaucracy, aren't you?
Yes, we don't have mirrors.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you let me get my clippers, I'm willing to at least entertain you. And how about this? I'll throw in... I won't collect my debts from you, Rosie, since these fine gentlemen seem to want to do business. I won't collect my debts for at least a couple of months until your hair's a little bit longer. How about that? Rosie's like, yes, thank you. Another couple of months, yes. And she's very thankful. She's like, thank you, Aggie, was it? Oh, I know we've only met a couple of times. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's quite all right. Here to smooth over the deals and make things run smoothly.
Thank you for your sacrifice. So let's get down to business. And she gets out a pair of clippers and looks over at you, Tiffany, and goes, "You might want to look away." Do you look away, or do you watch?
No, I think I respectfully turn my back.
You respectfully turn your back. You hear what sounds like it might be a chainsaw, and like noises that just really shouldn't be coming from that tiny little device that Cheryl was wielding. Aggie, I think you observe everything that happens, but like your natural sort of psychological self-defense mechanism, like represses that memory deep inside. Maybe it goes in that same place where once you had a memory of smoking in a room with your colleagues. Instead, it is replaced with whatever happened there. You find she is holding a bag. Like by the time your memory like will remember what has happened here, she's holding like a massive sack of your hair, and you are smoother than smooth. You don't have eyebrows. You don't have ear hair, nose hair. You are feeling very frictionless right now. She somehow did this, apparently without removing any of your clothes. It is incredibly impressive what she has done.
Oh, yes. Wow. It's a bit cold, though, isn't it?
I've got an interesting chat in the private chat. Jerry, these hair clippers were indeed made by Jerry. You can kind of see the intricate clockwork mechanism going on. They are very, very smart shears for what they are. So, what is it about this fiber optic that this disturbance from the bears? I don't know if you've mentioned fiber optic yet. I can't remember.
We have.
Yes.
Yes.
What
I
is
just want to
fiber
say,
optic? You say?
As I turn around and I take in Agamemnon's new hairless state, I sort of look at him and I kind of get a feeling. I look at him and I look at the clippers and I get an unshakable feeling that hair is not going to grow back. And that's what I'm spending my hold power on.
Okay. That the hair never grows back.
Yes.
You may well be right in that feature. You don't go to the hairdressers unless you're serious about this. So yes. What do you do, Aggie, or what do you say?
Well, I think I made a very good deal there.
So what do you know about this fiber optic?
Well, not a lot, other than it is, as they say, optical. And it is probably the most important of all to you, dear lady, fibrous.
And it's coming to our area.
Yeah, it's that as well.
Oh, dearie me, I've become very attached to my area since I set up shop here a few months ago. It's my area. I don't want fiber optic here.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yes. No.
So it's some sort of creature of some kind or force.
Wow.
Both fibrous and optical.
Could be.
Yes.
It's
I think I might have something I can do about this, but I don't think I can use your hair. As nice as it is, Agamemnon. I think I need probably some kind of optical hair. Yeah. I know I have a pal. What's his name? Cale Darwin. He's the optician. He might have something for me.
Yes.
Yeah. But I can probably make something that could I guess restrain it from spreading, if that's the...
Yes, that would be perfect. I think this is exactly what we need. So Cale Darwin, the optician, you say he will have some sort of optical fibrous hair that you need?
If you can, maybe, or maybe he just has some expertise. I'm not an expert on optics, but I think he might. And maybe I can make you something that could... do you know anything about fiber optic in terms of its nature or anything?
Well, it's visible.
Oh, I see. It's visible. Yeah, but I mean, like, what it's made out of, or
fiber.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm an expert in fiber, but okay, fine. If you can get me any more information about fiber optic, as well as some details.
In fact, yes, you've reminded me. I've got a message on my mobile phone from Jerry. She mentioned something about fiber. It might be worth finding her and asking if she has any more details on the matter. She's a very intelligent person and will have probably something to say.
Well, I can get you something to... Yeah, I mean, that would be good. I can get you something to restrain it. I can probably get you something to maybe even contain its power. Maybe a nice hat.
Ooh, yes, that sounds lovely.
But the piece of the puzzle that you're missing is where it is.
Well, yes, it's a very important one. Don't you think, Tiffany? We need to find more information about where it is.
Well, okay, here's my number. She hands you a piece of paper. It says 6 on it. You should be able to use that to contact her. Call me if you get an idea of where it is or where it's going, I guess. And I can maybe bring something to you. But yeah, first get me some stuff from the optician.
Yes, of course. Right.
So do you need to find out where it is right now, or would it help we find out where it is yesterday?
Yesterday? I mean, I don't know. Yesterday's in the past. It can't be changed, right? Well, if you have ways and means, then sure. Yesterday, tomorrow, wherever. But tell me where to show up. I guess tell me when to show up. I'll start work on something containy, something that could contain it. But I'll need something strong to make it out of. I'll just start with the shape. But yeah.
Okay, grand. We seem to be getting places.
It's a pleasure doing business with you, my smooth friend.
Oh yes, and you too, Cheryl. You're always a pleasure to deal with. Yes, I
have no more need of you. I don't think I will have need of you in any time soon.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help with that either.
Yeah. Well, you, Tiffany, you're welcome back anytime. Your hair is some of the weirdest hair I've ever seen.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah. Well, anyway, get off with you. Try and stop this fiber optic.
Right. Yes. Onwards to let's. I suppose I'll message. I'll message. I'll message Jerry and see what they have to say. Yes, we'll. I think we should head over to the opticians.
Yeah, tell her to ask her to rendezvous with us there.
Yes, that's a perfect idea. Well done, Tiffany. That sounds like a grand idea. Right.
Cheryl has basically stopped paying any attention to you and is just sort of slowly putting her hand into the bag of hair, in and out, and just sort of rustling around. Oh, this is just great stuff. Great stuff.
I think we should leave her to that.
Yes, I think we should. Right, hop on the e-bike. Maybe you can help me pedal. We'll go one side, you go... I'll go one side, you go the other.
All right.
Yep. You both successfully pedal in this exact fashion somehow. It is really impressive. But you guys have practiced this maneuver hundreds of times over.
Yes.
Where are you pedaling to?
The opticians, of course.
Okay. And on that note, we will cut to Jerry and Silas, who have just received a text message as they are limping away from the...
Jerry has got her phone still switched off, but I think if we are out of range of this nasty thing, then she will turn it on and, I guess, see the text.
Oh, there's no signal in this area. No, you see it.
On we go.
Eventually, you see the message that she's that they're heading to the optician.
All right, I think we might want to head to the optician. There's lots of things we need to do. I would rather quite like to check in on some of my machines and either tell them to switch off or help us with this fight somehow, or I'm not quite sure what, but there's something at the power station as well. I think we ought to go there, but Aggie seems to need our help, and I do think the bureaucracy might be able to help us, because as much as they're a pain in the arse and usually can't do anything at all, their real specialty is around getting nothing done, nothing changing, and this is really a change we don't want to come through. So it may be that they can help us out, and Aggie, he's a dear old soul, so I think we ought to go and check in on him. Does that sound all right to you, Silas?
Fine.
All right then, and we'll head off to the opticians.
And I imagine Jerry is just chatting the whole way with single monosyllabic yes.
I imagine Jerry's got there's probably a similar relationship as like with Rosie in terms of the sort of upbeat thing. Jerry probably cares less about like seeing him actively be happy. As long as Jerry is there and chatting away, she assumes that this is helping, and just keeps endlessly chattering away, and maybe telling him some intricacies of some new machinery thing that she picked up, or having a look through her wires and showing him what she's found at the with the new stuff that she's picked up, or whatever it is that he holds no interest in whatsoever.
Okay, so you are actually closer to the optician than Aggie and Tiffany, but you all arrive at approximately the same time. So the sign, it says Darwin & Co. And there are enormous pair of glasses in the window. What do you do?
I think we arrive a little bit aggressively and career into the front of the shop with the bike.
I think
how you stop
we get
when
close. Neither of us can agree over who has which brake, so we just kind of put your foot down and try and skid to a halt.
Okay. I guess Tiffany goes over the handlebars. Agamemnon goes under the handlebars. It's very impressive. Both of you smash through the front door. Silas and Jerry, I guess you're helping Jerry sort of limp forward. You see this vague accident. What do you do?
Oh, Aggie, you be careful. You're not going to have... If you cause yourself an injury, you're going to have to fill out the accident book, and you know that's just a pain. So a little more caution, please.
Oh, God, you're right. I say as I slide across the floor with my frictionless body.
What else have you done to your hair? You just have that lovely hair.
It was a deal worth making, you know, Jerry. A deal of the century. I feel invigorated and alive.
So you think it's an overall positive then, Aggie?
What is?
The hairlessness. You think it's a good state?
Oh yes, I don't have to deal with it now. You know, less things to get in the way of my work.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure there's a lovely young bureaucrat somewhere who would have you've got to think about your appearance as well, dear. If you want to have a nice future, settle down with somebody someday. You must promise you won't do something silly like this again. You've got to keep yourself nice and presentable.
I think this is perfectly presentable, but I appreciate the concern.
I think Silas is about halfway through this conversation just realised that even though he's not particularly motivated to make much progress, he'd much rather be not involved in this conversation, and so would have slipped through the door into the opticians.
Okay, on the inside of the opticians, it's quite dark. There is a man, sort of brown-haired, standing in the upper left corner of the room, just waiting. You assume this is Kale, or Mr. Darwin. Hello.
Yes, Mr.
You were muted.
Yeah, Mr. Darwin, fabulous to see you once again. Not that we've had too many occasions to meet. Yes, we have a favor to ask of you, I believe.
He sort of scuttles closer. He places one of his arms on your back, and he's like, "Oh, yes, excellent. Welcome. Come in. What's the favor?"
You are an expert in all things optical, no?
Why, yes, I am. I definitely like to consider myself this. He says as he removes his glasses, and it's at this point that you notice that the glasses he removes have 8 lenses in them, and he cleans each one.
Well, Mr. Darwin, we
call me Kale. Call me Kale.
Well,
I like to have a friendly environment in my shop.
Well, Mr. Kale, we are on a very important task to achieve. It is to do with something called fiber optical.
It's called fiber optical, is it?
Yes.
I can't say I've heard of it, although the optical bit sounds nice. So like his thorax seems to like expand and contract kind of excitedly at this.
Can we go back to the thorax for a second?
No, I think we can move past that. Cool. We were talking to Cheryl, the hairdresser.
Mm-hmm. I love Cheryl. Cheryl's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. She did this, and I point at Aggie.
Oh, very good work. Very good work.
Well, she said that she'd be able to help us.
Thorough. My God.
The fiber, if we could find something optic.
Well, you have come to the right place. For both counts, actually.
Hair.
Optical hair. Ooh,
something like this. Do you have anything along these lines?
I don't personally have any optical hair, but perhaps she just needs the right kind of materials. And at that point, out of his spinneret comes like a thin film of web.
This looks like what might be considered as optical hair. No, what? Jerry, you have a good knowledge of these things. What do you think?
Jerry has maybe been, if that's okay, because she doesn't really have the context of this. So she's kind of meeting Aggie more than anything. I think she's maybe spending her time. They've got to move creative destruction to just give it a bit of time and using 1 scrap essence. and create a wildly dangerous weapon out of a few ordinary objects. So I think she'll have just been sort of like pottering around and like picking things up and sort of just, tinkering a bit. Remembering that she's left her saw behind, of course.
Yes.
And feeling the lack of that weight in her bag. So I think she'll maybe be midway through tinkering. There's a roll to see how successful I am in creating something that maybe can come a bit later.
Okay, go for that roll while we talk. But you are kind of distracted.
So if Aggie asks her something, she'll sort of stop and like, oh, sorry, Aggie, what was that, dear?
Yeah,
Jerry, we're in the room right now. Be with us in this moment.
She is. She's right there, Aggie.
At this moment, Mr. Darwin sort of like scuttles back down from the wall and is in front of you again. No, it's okay. It's perfectly okay. Everything's all good.
I rolled very poorly there. I rolled a 6, and on a miss, whatever it is that I'm creating explodes in my face. So maybe the distraction just.
So where exactly are you in this shop?
Wherever I found something that I thought looked useful to pick up. I don't know how big it is. Probably not wandered off too far, but.
Okay. You like the whatever contraption you're making detonates, and immediately. So you are going to suffer, I think, 1 harm from this thing exploding in your face. And the device sort of ricochets off the floor, off the wall, and like smashes into a mirror of Mr. Darwin's shop. But Mr. Darwin has like scuttled into I guess you could call it a sort of a deeper funnel that's like a tunnel. Obviously freaked out by what you've done.
Just a quick question. What is Mr. Darwin?
He is a perfectly ordinary brown-haired man.
Oh.
He's an optician.
He's an optician. He's an optician. He's a very
scuttling optician.
Yeah.
I think if there is a moment of pause, I think it's worth noting, as you can point out with Jerry, we haven't had much time to say hello to Tiffany and Agamemnon, and Silas might, while otherwise enjoying the darkness and relative solitude of the optician's emporium, might lean over to Tiffany and say, "It's not entirely disappointing to see you today."
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Silas.
I'm having a very long day. I was enjoying sitting by the lake, and then since staring out upon that heap of refuse, everything else has gone downhill. Have you heard that Fibre Optic is coming to our area?
I have.
It's dreadful.
It's definitely concerning. Seems to be moving awfully fast.
Too fast.
As you say that, you notice that like outside there was a guy just like walking along the pavement, and like a hole opened up under him, and he was just like sucked down into the hole. Nobody remarked on this on the street.
No, we had a run-in with one of these fibre optics.
Really?
On the street. It attacked S-Bar.
And what was it like?
Dreadful. I think he wants power. All of these entropic creatures just want one thing: more and more energy, and to be more and more involved everywhere.
That's right. They're at the power station. They're trying to absorb up all the power, and they drained the battery on my phone. It is a real pain. Yes, this is going to be quite troublesome. I don't know quite how I'm going to power all of my machines.
You're welcome to use You're welcome to use the power outlet. You hear the voice is directly above you. Mr. Darwin managed somehow to get above you without you noticing.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. And we'll go and try and plug something in. Sorry, Aggie dear, what was it you were saying about what? Sorry.
Good question.
Fiber optic?
Fiber optic, it's coming to our area. We must do something about it. Change is bad. All of these things. At any rate, we must collect this. So you say, I'm sorry, I was listening into your conversation just a little bit, but you say you saw some fiber optic in Espa.
Yes.
Right. Well,
Came right through the back wall.
Well, there was also a nice little one on the power line with one of those engineering fellows.
That's what it wants to do. It wants
What
to
it
turn
wants-
us all into engineers.
right.
Dreadful.
It wants power, doesn't
And
it?
there's more than one of them.
Oh yes, there was
Apparently.
a lovely little baby one, and really, I think it was just you really can't blame the creature. You've got to blame it's the owner.
It's the
not blaming him
parents.
correctly. That's exactly.
Parents,
They've got to be
yes.
taught properly. And the thing tried to snatch out my phone and try to drain all the power, and I had to shoo it away. It's really quite disappointing. I really think it could have gone on a much better path if only it had proper guidance.
It's
What if it
typical
had
for these
hat?
entropic creatures.
Very
So
disappointing.
I have a thought. Either we go and look for it where its parents are.
Oh, they're at the power station, dear.
They're at the power station. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Right.
Well,
So-
I mean, they're after power, and that's really the central point for the power. And one of those engineers did tell me not to go to the power station, so of course they must be there.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course. So
When
that's
did you
fine.
see one of the engineers?
Oh, well, I saw one at the well, I was investigating following one power lines, and the small box 3789. He was being destroyed by a couple of these engineers. I heard a couple of them around there, and I saw one. They've got those funny eyes. And then as I was coming out and coming along to see, well, I suppose where I ended up seeing all of you lot, there was one up in power lines and cutting things up, and that was where I saw the cute little one, the cute little fiber optic fellow. And then it was that's when I ran into you, Silas, and all of the trouble with the big one.
Out of the pothole outside, you see a couple of engineers come out and grab somebody and wrestle them down into the hole.
Look, they're at it again.
Yes, one
Oh
of them.
dear.
That's the
The whole
engineers.
neighborhood goes downhill.
Oh, that seems like that's probably a bad thing.
Probably.
And
Oh,
as you
what was-
say that, the lights cut out that were in this dimly lit shop, and your phone stops
Okay.
charging.
I'll check my phone and presume it stopped charging, yeah.
Right.
Hold on.
Okay. This is of utmost importance, Kale. We need all of your optical fiber, your fibrous opticals.
I've been making it since you arrived.
How have you been making it, by the way?
Rapidly.
Yes. Incredibly rapidly.
Yeah.
I heard. I also want to save this town. It's a
Right.
valid source of prey objects.
I think I've just got enough battery in my phone to message Cheryl and tell her to meet us at the power station.
I didn't know you were such a devout man, Mr. Darwin.
Oh, I am. I've been praying for a very long time. Longer than most of you have been alive.
What have you been praying for, Mr. Darwin?
Oh, that would be telling.
It would, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry, Aggie dear, what are we doing here?
We're collecting optical.
So at this point, he will, Mr. Darwin will present you with I guess a basket filled with webbing, I guess, of some
I
kind.
think I have
Excellent.
an old, slightly damp tote bag somewhere in here.
Ah,
It's the most disappointing thing I can think of.
perfect.
I open it up to store
Does
it.
Does it have
Silas.
Is it
Go on,
blank or
Jay.
does it have a slogan on it?
It's got a slogan, but you know when you leave a tote bag and they actually go a bit mouldy?
Yeah.
So it's that. That's what it's like.
Cool.
Okay. He offloads the webbing from the basket, beautifully crafted basket that he was offering you, into your horrible disgusting and disappointing tote bag.
Yeah, I think we should leave, and all I'll do is inform everyone that, you know, this tote bag took even more energy than thousands of plastic bags and actually is destroying the environment, despite everyone think it's helping it. That's what I got to say.
Well, you're a bit of a downer, says Kale.
Always good to know this information, though. I'll make a note.
Yeah, sorry. Now, as we're kind of walking to wherever, so Aggie, what are we doing with this moldy bag of stuff?
I don't know. Something.
I'm sure you said something about the hairdresser needing it for some kind of
yes,
MacGuffin.
Hasn't the hairdresser done enough here today?
Well, you know, they're very multi-talented people, hairdressers. They can do many things. And apparently, our hairdresser can also concoct some sort of, as you say, MacGuffin.
I thought I was your MacGuffin person.
Well, yes.
We can have more than one MacGuffin.
Yeah, and also, you know, your speciality isn't in optical fibre.
Not today.
Not today, Jerry. It's okay. I'm sure your skills will come in most useful.
I'm not sure if I should make you roll for like psychological damage that you are not the provider of the MacGuffin. But I probably won't.
Jerry's used to being able to fashion whatever it is that she needs, and here's these people going off and fight to a hairdresser of all people. To
the hairdresser.
Some sort of destructive weapon. This is my thing.
If it makes you feel any better, Jerry. If it makes you feel any better, she's not making a destructive weapon. She's making a restraint. So you can still make something that blows up afterwards. And, you know, when the horde of, like, robot dogs charges through town at some point in the next couple of years, you'll be there. And then you can be the MacGuffin person.
Robot dogs, that sounds like something that's very unsafe.
Oh, no, that sounds wonderful. Thank you, Tiffany.
It is likely that Jerry would be the one creating the robot dogs, but we'll leave that to the side.
Then who better?
Now.
This is the inciting incident that caused Jerry to think about robot dogs taking over the city.
There's a part 2, as a sequel to Absurdia one day, and the sort of takeover of robot dogs, we'll know what the inciting incident was.
So are you guys heading to the hairdresser? Is that your plan?
I think on the way we might discuss whether it's worth either splitting up and someone checking out whether the power station is the right place to go, or whether or not.
Oh, it's definitely the power station.
Where else could contain large amounts of energy?
The street lamps are going out, by the way, which have started to come on because it's getting on in the afternoon. It's like late evening now.
You do as you will, Silas, but I think it sounds like we need to get this stuff to Cheryl, I suppose.
I can take it to Cheryl really quickly, like so quickly, like in no or potentially negative time at all. So if you guys wanted to run ahead to the power station,
and we'll meet you there later.
Probably.
Earlier?
Probably not.
Well, in that case, my bike's a bit bollocksed, so maybe we can't cycle. I think maybe riding with 3 might be a bad idea.
Are you guys thinking about ways of navigating to the power station?
As soon as Aggie says that, she stopped thinking. She's starting to have a fiddle around with the bike and see if she can do something.
And her
But
over
if
the other two.
power is gone, then maybe she finds that out quite quickly. But if there's something she can tinker with, she will try.
So if I'm understanding correctly, Tiffany is taking this to the.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and rewind to the hairdressers.
Oh, very good. Yeah, go for it.
Shift back to previous space. Mark 1 anomaly. And roll plus chaos. And I'm going to push myself, which is an extra anomaly.
Okay.
And really hope that Aggie doesn't regrow all of his hair. Because that would be bad for me. Eliminate the worst. That's fantastic. That is a 12.
Wow. Okay, so rewind. You can shift back to a previous space that you've occupied on this timeline. Yep. So you arrive there, no problem. So 1 second you're like talking to Tiffany, and then the next second you're like, wait, was Tiffany ever even here? From your perspective, Tiffany, you are now on a divergent timeline where you were there already, but somehow you are simultaneously elsewhere.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense. But I guess you are holding the moldy tote bag of silk.
Correct.
Which somehow is still there.
Well, it's because I already had it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. You had it in the past future.
Yeah.
So are you delivering this to Cheryl?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I zip in just immediately in front of her and go,
you were just here.
Yeah.
She takes the thing and she goes, wow, this is some good stuff. Where do you need these I don't know what I'm going to call them, but MacGuffins maybe?
We think we.
Oh. Has John just cut out?
No, Tiffany's
Dramatic.
going through a time paradox.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just a side effect of what happens.
That was dramatic. Okay. Well, I guess while Tiffany is
What a cliffhanger.
having this conversation, the rest
be at the power station.
Oh gosh.
Am I back?
Yes, you
You're back.
became temporarily unmoored from time itself.
That happens.
Yeah, you are back.
That's gonna be a clip. That's gonna be a clip.
You're going to the power station. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. But you probably want to know how to get there. That's not the easiest place to get to. You got to cross the Mobius Strip.
Oh.
Even if you go the fastest way, and I mean that's through the corner shop.
Okay.
I don't know.
Any advice?
I don't know. I hear there's it's more of a rumor really. There are some people who can get you safely across the Mobius Strip, away from the roving cars. But I don't know how to find them. Maybe they'll I don't know. The rumors are weird. They're strange. They don't make no sense. They say look for the lollipop. But I've never been, so I don't know. But yeah,
Right.
That's my best bet. But yeah, you're gonna have to do some interdimensional travel. Probably.
Gosh, I gotta go catch up with everyone else and let them know. I don't want them to get hit by a
Okay.
bus.
You do you. And she just starts like reaching into the basket, the tote bag filled with spiders' webs. Back with everyone else. Oh yeah. Are you?
I shoot a glance at my watch to make sure I'm on the right timeline and head out and try and run after them.
Still says 25 o'clock.
Excellent.
So yeah, you head after them. Everyone else, I think we'll fast forward this a little bit until Tiff gets back with you guys, and presumably, Tiff, are you going? I assume you tell them about the path through.
Yeah.
The corner shop.
Do the corner shop and look for the lollipops.
Yeah. So you sort of are looking along the main street, and you look to the edge of it, at where it joins another thing, and there is the corner shop.
Is it by chance on the corner?
What are you talking about? But yes, it is on the corner.
Ah, fantastic.
You enter the corner shop, and in it, it is far bigger on the inside than it appeared on the outside, and it seems that every corner in the world is in there. There's the corner of your room, the darkest corner of your soul, corner of your eye, all the corners. You just got to find the right one.
Oh, I think I see my printer over there. Wow. How lovely.
And on that note, I think we're going to take another break before the final section.